Hi, I'm Antonio Centeno. I'm the founder of Real Men, Real Style. Today, I'm going to be speaking with you about 5 tips on how to properly wear suspenders. Now, I know some of you guys out there are considering making the move to suspenders, and it's probably a smart decision. I'm going to talk to you about how to properly wear them so that, so that you do this right, so you don't go out there and buy suspenders and never use them. So before we get into this, guys, I'm going to ask you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. By doing this, the videos come right to you and you don't miss any of my ghost videos. In addition, if you like this, if you find it useful, well, click on the like button and leave me comments down below. I love hearing from you guys. And if you want more, go check out my free ebook over at realmenrealstyle.com. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into this. Now, I need to point out that this is in support of an infographic and article, which I've created over at Real Men, Real Style. I'm going to go into a lot more detail there. So if you want more information, something isn't clear, go check out the infographic. Go check out the article. I go into a lot more. And in this video, I'm not necessarily going to talk about the different types of suspenders. I've created a whole separate video for that. Today, I'm going to talk about 5 tips so you can actually, well, you can make a smart purchasing decision and you know that suspenders are right for you. So number 1, when you're out there looking to buy suspenders, what is the need? Why do you need suspenders? Is it something that, and for a lot of guys, and a little bit of history on braces or suspenders, it used to be this was how trousers were held up. We didn't actually use belts. I think it was World War II where we saw the suspenders pretty much disappear. One of the reasons is you could make trousers a bit shorter. So instead of ending at the natural waist, we pushed them down. All of a sudden, and jeans have been doing this for a long time. I think guys that were making, the companies that were making dress pants, dress slacks, they said, let's go ahead and push it down. We're going to save fabric. And belts became more popular. Now, belts, if you think about it, are not as good as suspenders because two reasons. One, belts, especially on big men, they're trying to put tension on an area which actually is angled like this. So if you think about it, you're going to have to put a lot of tension if you're a larger man to keep your pants from falling down. And you've seen it, guys. Gentlemen are out there, their pants are falling down, they're trying to pull it up. This is a clear case of they need suspenders. Another advantage of wearing suspenders, it actually lengthens the apparent length of your leg line. So if you're a larger man, suspenders are always going to look better. Basically, they're going to make your legs look longer, which in a sense makes you look taller. So the biggest barrier, and this goes to why need and why I focus on it as the number 1 reason, is psychological. Because if you aren't convinced that suspenders are going to actually make you look better, if you're actually going to wear them, if you don't buy into the psychological benefits here, you're not going to probably make the shift. And that's one thing I don't want. I don't want you to go out there, buy suspenders and not use them. So make sure that they are right for you. If you're going to wear suspenders, and I know some of you guys, it's not really a need, but it's a want. Perhaps it's a fashion want. You want something that's going to look cool. You want to strap them on without a jacket and have some color that's going to, something that's going to set you apart from the crowd. Perhaps you're a dancer and you want to get out there and you don't even want to bother with your pants possibly creeping down, and you want to be able to do a bit of action. That is a great reason. But make sure that you're, in a sense, you're going to want to make sure that when you're purchasing those, you know what you're buying them for so that you get your money's worth, whatever you spend on this. So whether it be fashionable, whether you need them simply to hold up your pants, understand what your need is. Number 2, you basically do not want to wear suspenders with a belt. Now, most pants, in fact, almost every pair of pants that's made by an off-the-rack company, and what I mean by that, pre-manufactured, non-custom, they're going to come with belt loops because they assume that you're going to wear, at some point, a belt with them. Most of us don't wear belts. Actually, even though, like when you're wearing jeans, how many guys do you know actually wear belts with the jeans? Unless they're tucking in the shirt. So belt loops aren't always used. With suspenders, you do not want to try to wear the belt and then put on suspenders. It actually kind of defeats the purpose. Suspenders are there to replace the belt. Now, there is one exception to this. Work suspenders. There are certain work suspenders that are made to work with belts. And the reason being is you're hanging tools actually off of your belt, and the suspenders are there so your pants do not sag. In that case, that combination is acceptable. Pretty much every other combination, I wouldn't try it. So buy the right type of suspenders is point and tip number 3. So I have an entire video in which I go over the 5 types of suspenders. But really quick, we're going to have basically black tie suspenders. We're going to have dress suspenders that are more geared towards business dress. We're going to have casual suspenders, which are going to bring in colors. And I mentioned perhaps if you're a dancer or you're going to be going out and doing a lot of activity, that would be a great option for you. There are work suspenders, which are type number 4. And then finally, we have undergarment suspenders. And those are for men who perhaps have a bit of weight on them, want to wear their shirt untucked, but don't want to be always pulling their pants up. Suspenders that are worn as an undergarment are a great option. So we've talked about the need, no belt, buy the right type of suspender, buy the right size of suspenders, gentlemen. That's point number 4. So suspenders come in a wide range. You can often buy the wrong size and make it work. The problem with that is that you're going to overstretch, especially if they're made from an elastic material, and you're going to shorten the length. Also, they're going to become more uncomfortable, and you just may find that your pants are riding up too high. So buy the right size. 42-inch suspenders are going to fit men from about 5 foot to 5'9", all the way up to about 54-inch suspenders. Those are going to fit guys from about 6'1" to 6'5". I'm going to link over to an article which is going to have a breakout of a chart for you that tells you exactly what to buy. If you have a question, reach out to the company that you're going to be buying from and ask them what is right for you. Now, the last part is how are you going to attach the suspenders to the pants? So sometimes some guys go off and they buy the suspenders, they get them and they look at them and they realize, I don't have any buttons on my pants. How am I going to attach? Realize there are 2 main types of attachment. There's actually 6, but I'm going to talk about the 2 main ones, and that is button attachments, and the other one is a clip attachment. If you do not have, and let's say you're going to be attaching to jeans, you're a dancer, you want something that's going to look good, but also hold your jeans up because you wear them a little bit loose so that you can move. In this case, you want to go with clips. Clips, especially if they've got a tack or basically a pin in there, those are called biting clips, and they are going to stay, and they're going to put a small hole, usually not too bad. Jeans, it's not going to be that big of an issue, but you want to avoid these type of clips if you're going to be using them with dress pants. If you're not going to need, and those by the way, those biting ones are also great for work suspenders as well. But if you can, I would look at, if you're going to make a long-term move over, let's say you're a large man, you've made the decision that suspenders are right for you, well, then look at having buttons sewn into your trousers, or you can even find clip-on buttons, and that's going to be the better option if you wanted to go, because I really think that it's a lot easier. It doesn't damage the clothing, and so button suspenders are for the long-term solution if that's what you're going to go with most of your wardrobe. However, if you're just doing it occasionally, then go with the clips, and if you are going to have a lot of movement or for work, go with the biting clip. So gentlemen, those are my 5 tips. Hopefully you found this useful. Do not forget, I've got a video that supports this, and I talk about the different types of suspenders. In addition, I've got an entire infographic and article that supports this as well. Guys, wish you the best. I'll see you in the next video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Take care.